Hi, I'm Doug Bistreet, President and CEO of Clearinghouse CDFI. For over 25 years, we've served low and moderate income communities with purpose. Our mission is and has always been to finance projects that create economic opportunity and improve lives. We've funded over 2,600 projects for a total of $2.2 billion. We've created 40,000 jobs benefiting 3.9 million people. Through the hard work, dedication, and support of our shareholders and stakeholders, we continue to make a difference. As you know, we recently celebrated our 25-year anniversary. On the heels of that milestone, our executive team had a chance to get together in person and plan for our future. It was a rare occasion for all of us to be together in the same space since the start of COVID. What a wonderful time we had aligning our goals and objectives for the future. But more importantly, we had a chance to reminisce about some of the most important and impactful loans in our corporate history. Today, we're happy to share those stories with you, including a very special project we funded in 2022.
What are some of the favorite projects that we've done over the years? I mean, there's so many, and but I'd love to just
The aquarium.
hear anyone. Which one?
The aquarium.
I think from the day you called me to the day we funded, that was literally like
Two to three weeks.
and something weeks.
Yep.
Yeah,
Done.
that was amazing.
They had money in their account.
That was
we've
right there.
We've never moved that fast.
No, we've never moved that fast. It was an emergency loan, and we knew that because of COVID, because their income dried up, they did not have enough money to continue feeding and serving the animals in their aquarium. So it was one of those where I felt like we just had to sort of throw out the conventional rules.
Maybe I'll start with another one, but I'm thinking of Arizona. We did a kind of a transitional housing facility for autistic children in Phoenix.
First place. Yes.
First place. Do you?
That's a great one, great project.
Do you have any thoughts on the impact that's had in Phoenix?
Well, the principles of it, it's a nonprofit, have an autistic child. And as anyone gets older and you have an autistic child, who's going to take care of my child as I get older?
Right.
So we need to build more of a community around that. This turns out to be a living situation where people can go to work. I mean, these are highly functional autistic young adults, so it's a great program, but they also have a research center there. And so they're making an impact on the world that way.
Yeah.
We have some interesting ones in Arizona for sure. I think, about the hardware store in Holbrook, Arizona, for example.
I remember Walt's Hardware.
So there's a closed theater and movie theater in rural Arizona, Holbrook. We financed the theater there that was closed, and that owner who sold the theater subsequently then wanted to do the hardware store.
Yeah.
And she and her husband and their team did a great job there, which is really important in rural Arizona to have that type of stuff available.
Yeah. What about Teen Project? I mean, that's another.
She is a borrower that in her young life, she literally was in prostitution. And she somehow got herself out of it, got an education, and dedicated her entire life to helping teenage girls get out of that life through emancipated youth and give them a home, give them college education, a place to live, one by one. So
talk about really making an impact and changing lives and taking a trajectory of someone whose life is on a certain path and moving it to another. And because we were able to allow them to buy the old
Boy Scout
facility.
But even before we did that,
it was their first house. Right, and then we allowed them to buy that whole compound where they could take however many more.
They churned through them to get them jobs or an education to then kind of move through.
And break that cycle.
Break that cycle of dependency on whatever that's not healthy for them.
Yeah,
so, that was great. Yeah.
One other thing I think that is important, and I wanted to talk about a first that was extremely important to us and really, I think, put us on a great trajectory, and that is our S&P rating.
That was an interesting process, and it's benefited. We talked about raising debt.
Yeah.
Now we can show that to folks who are less familiar with us, maybe.
Right.
And maybe we have to do a little less explaining about ourselves.
Eve, we just finished our first Opportunity Zone project, start to finish. Talk about what that has meant for you and what that means for the company.
Loss of hair. Most definitely. But it's been great because, for years we've provided the capital for others to go do projects like we just did. And once again, to be the very first one to complete an Opportunity Zone project from ground up to where it stands now. We have 3 other projects that's ongoing that we're still working on, and it's a great opportunity for us to lead the pack, and hopefully others will follow and they'll get more involved in the OZ world.
Good. Andy, I know one of the things that I was excited to talk to you about when we were first starting to talk about for the merger was the fact that even though we were a for-profit, we were a B corporation, a B corporation, a benefit corporation. What did that mean to you then, and what does it mean to you now, and how significant is our B Corp status to you?
Well, as Jay was talking about the S&P Standard & Poor's rating, I think twinning that with a B corporation status really puts us in a unique situation to our investors. We reinvest our profitability into our mission. We've been profitable, as you mentioned, for over 20 years. We do well while we do good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and we will continue to do that.
One of our next big challenges ahead of us is the recapitalization effort, and obviously working with a rising interest rate environment and trying to grow the loan portfolio in the company and trying to make all of these things happen together. But I think for me, probably the most important thing about the recapitalization is the plan to give all of our employees an ownership interest in this company.
This should go a way to clear the path forward from a capital perspective.
I agree.
And it should really help operations. It will take us from our existing roughly $600 million in total assets to $1.5 billion in a period of 5 years. And so it's really exciting to be able to put that kind of money to work in low-income communities throughout the country.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. And I'm glad you said throughout the country, because one of the other important aspects of what we're doing is expanding geographically. And Kathy, I want to ask you about, how you see us rolling that out.
It's going to have to be strategic. It's going to be hiring staff, getting staff into other areas of the country. We don't currently have them.
Yeah.
Getting people that know the regions, so we have boots on the
That's
ground
right.
to really know those areas. And I think that's
regional
going to be
expertise.
that regional expertise is really going to help us to be able to get loans, and it's hard, especially tribal areas. It's very hard to earn trust. Right? So it's educating that we're a CDFI, what we do, we're here for good.
One of the things I'm most proud of this team, and I know it wasn't easy, but when COVID hit and the PPP program became available, and I said, we need to go do PPP loans, I know that caused a lot of challenge for our teams.
Just a little.
Yeah, just a little. I'm going to scoot over here next to you, Eve, but
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
But we responded to it.
We did.
And I know when I look now at the map of where we have made loans, and you see all of the small businesses that we helped with the PPP loan, when many of them couldn't get through to their big bank. And like the dentist in Oakland, that's another one of my favorite borrowers. He was talking about, what that meant for his business. Yeah. Christy, there's a special project that we just recently funded in Tustin. Do you want to talk about that?
That's View Prep. They serve the developmentally disabled children throughout California.
View Preparatory is a school for individuals on the autism spectrum or individuals with other related developmental disabilities. We educate students anywhere from kindergarten all the way through adult transition, which is 22 years old. And our students really have profound and significant needs, whether that's learning needs or behavioral needs.
Dr. Tomino and I worked in other settings with individuals with disabilities, and a missing component of those programs or the curriculum was really trying to capture the dreams of the kids and try to create pathways for them to succeed in life and contribute to their communities.
I just saw a need in special education that I felt was lacking. I was doing in-home work, so sometimes I would go see a student in their school setting when I typically would work with them in the home. And every time I would go, the special ed classes were in the bungalows, in the back of the campus, far away from everybody else. And I really wanted to elevate the standard of special education. That was really important to me.
Because we're a non-public school, we operate under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, which mandates that every student receive an IEP or individualized education plan.
So when they first start with us, it's really just developing a relationship with them to figure out what makes them tick. And we just focus on getting to know that individual student, and then we work to develop their program and develop their goals. We're really trying to set them up to be successful in life, but more importantly, to be happy and to do the things that they like to do.
We leased this building back in 2019. Built into the lease was a purchase option. Part of our goals for longevity was to be able to exercise that purchase option. I worked for a couple of years on trying to figure out how we were going to buy this building. I would talk to guys that were supposedly the best in fundraising in the business, and nobody could figure it out. Well, enter the former CEO of Reimagine, Glenn Motola. He ranted and raved about Clearinghouse. He sent an introductory email to Christy Ollendorf. Christy was the first person I spoke to that actually understood what it is that we did. In 5 minutes, she said, "I think we can help you." The rest is history. We were able to pull it off thanks to Clearinghouse.
It was so amazing because the values and mission of Clearinghouse really aligned with those of Portview. And there were so many commonalities between the two organizations that it really was just this like magical connection that allowed us to create this amazing campus. My favorite part of the campus is either the adult transition apartment with the Murphy bed or the library. Having a library was really important to me. I wanted our students to have access to all sorts of different books and curriculum. And so I was really happy when we had a space that we were able to build a library.
We are now confident in being able to house up to 120 students here, which creates at least 100 more jobs just for this site alone. But it also sets the precedent for the future for us. We are sustainable. We're not trying to ask for handouts. We pay our bills. Our kids contribute to society. Just with a little bit of understanding of what we do, we can go a long way.
Mikey has been at Portview since he was 9. He's 17. Interestingly enough, with Mikey, he doesn't like to use his assisted device at home, but he'll use it here at school. And what I've noticed is at home, because of Portview, Mikey speaks when he needs something at home or he wants to get my attention. He actually uses his language. Mikey has speech and he has occupational therapy and he has fun with everything that they do. He has so much available to him that he didn't have before. My child is happy. He's amazing now because of Portview.
What I hope to give my students is a safe place where they know they're loved. When I think about them graduating and moving out into the world, I really just want to teach them self-advocacy and to be able to continue the work that we did here, whether that's having a job or living with their parents or living independently, finding something that really truly makes them happy. That's really important to me.
I would recommend it to them because everybody is friendly and you can learn a lot. They have really good teachers and you can make friends there.
So before we wrap up, I want to just ask everyone if they have a thought or a vision or a goal of where they see the company in 3 to 5 years from now.
I hope we can continue to have and develop the same super staff.
Yeah.
We have amazing staff members, and as we grow, we're going to need to grow, and
To find them.
Yeah. And we've just been so fortunate with the people we have that have stuck with us. They're just wonderful. I hope we find more of those people. I think we will. Good thing about COVID, though, and the remote work is it makes it easier.
Yes.
I think prior to that, we thought, we've got to have offices, bricks and mortar all over the place.
Yeah.
We don't need that anymore.
Aren't we seeing that a lot of the younger people now want to go to work for a company that's making a difference in the world that isn't just all about the bottom line.
Overseeing the HR realm, I don't just see that in the younger people that apply. I see it in people that we actually work with now, right? So we have people that maybe work at a bank. If something opens, they might be interested in that position. We've had a few people come to us that way.
Well, we have a couple of ex-bankers right here with us, so you know.
And we've attracted some great talent that way, but also, like you said, COVID, we're getting top talent because we can now search nationwide for the talent that we're seeking.
I agree.
That is huge.
Yeah. It is solely off of our reputation that we get as much loan volume as we do in California. I would love to see that trajectory and that kind of confidence throughout
something to shoot for.
Our other focused areas in the United States.
That's actually a really great goal. And I feel like to some extent we're starting that in states like Texas, where Eve is and Annie. I feel like we're starting to build that.
Get that kind of institutional reputation in those areas.
Right.
Whatever it is that we do, we have to be able to share the story with others. I drank the Kool-Aid. I want others to drink the Kool-Aid. I think there could be a four-prong that love to see the insurance companies be core investors, the family offices, the large companies, and the financial institutions. Here's a viable investment source, and here's what we've done historically. Here's the data to support it. That's what I like to see happening, because I think that would amplify what we've done, but also give us a lot of additional outside and external monetary sources.
Seeing the company grow and be able to continue to be viable, both from a profitability standpoint, but also from a strong impact, and continuing as both a CDFI and a B Corp is really, really important to me. And if we're so fortunate as to be able to do a recapitalization, grow the company, and have some sort of other exit event or an IPO, that would be a dream come true for me. That would be the cherry on the top of my ice cream sundae career that I've had. You know, often as the president CEO, I'm out in front of everyone and I get a lot of accolades, but it's all the hard work of each and every one of you. And I am very grateful and indebted to each and every one of you and our entire teams, all of our staff, all of the people that work so hard at Clearinghouse CDFI, and it's been a great run. Let's all put our hand in here together. 1, 2, 3, CDFI!
Yeah, baby.